Honestly, they could have. They, as we mentioned, they had a missed PK early in the game, but then there were, as Gus reminded me, two potential penalties that were not awarded. One in particular, we all believe should have been given, but Christina Unkel is here to explain her theory as to why it was not. Christina, thank you so much once again for being here. What can you tell Canada supporters about that non-peak penalty call?
Well, I mean, which one are we digging into first, right?
Exactly. So are we talking about the Tajon Buchanan one? Is that the one that we're like?
So we have the Buchanan one, which is the offside one, right? And then we have, I think it's Larea, also the potential step on his foot one. So let's go to this offside one first, because this is the one we all can agree is not offside due to the fact of the deliberate play. Here we have a deliberate play by the defender. So therefore, whether Buchanan's in offside position is irrelevant. All right, so that is 100% incorrect. Now, what I have been spending the entire second half is trying to get video to see where the contact. And right here, prior to the contact on the foot, the defender number 5 for Belgium actually clears the ball first, right? So, in fact, this is actually not a foul. And this is why VAR did not intervene in this, okay? And this is why it's so important to get the videotape. That's why I was like, oh, I'm going to clarify until I see some videotape. When we take that clip and you slow it down, you see that number 5 Belgium actually clears the ball. It changes complete trajectory. And then there's contact on the top of the foot of Buchanan, not the ankle. Some people are claiming the ankle. My video doesn't lie. I've taken snapshots and sent it to them. But it's at the top of the boot, the top of the foot, right? And so everyone's arguing, hey, but sometimes we see that, right? If there's a follow through after a play, it still gets penalized. Penalty area context matters. And here's why, right? When we have a defender or a goalkeeper and attackers going by them and they go and there's some contact, we're always looking at, did that defender or the goalkeeper make contact on that ball first, and meaningful contact, and change the ball before there was this incidental contact after the fact? Don't get me wrong. I feel bad for Buchanan's toe. I really do. That doesn't feel good. But this is the deciding factor as to why it's not even a foul in the first place, and which is why the VAR team did not get it wrong. They didn't recommend down for an overturn for a penalty kick because there was no foul in the first place. Now, offside alone, standing by itself, since VAR has determined there is no foul, there's no point in recommending for overturning the offside because that's not one of the 4 reviewable incidents. So unless they had a clear and obvious error for a foul for a penalty, then they wouldn't touch the offside alone. Woo, that was a lot. Sorry, I spent 45 minutes breaking that down.
Wow.
There's been a lot of forensic going on.
So because it's on the clearance of because it's on the motion of the clearance, the defender has the right to that movement, and therefore you're saying it's not a foul at all.
Yes. So, and there's good argument, right? Where people are like, hey, if this happened in the center of the field, you guys would have called a foul. And everyone's like, what should be fair in the center should be fair in the penalty area, right? And for the most part, yes, that answer is typically what kind of we prefer. However, like I said, it matters in the penalty area as opposed to the middle of the field, because the middle of the field, you don't have a penalty, right? You don't have a game-changing decision necessarily. That's why when we are given these clips and these analysis on interpretation and application in the penalty area, when there's a defender making a challenge on the ball, we're always first and foremost looking at, did that defender make meaningful contact on the ball before they made contact on the attacker? And then we look at the contact on the attacker. You know, did it rise to the level of, a serious foul play, right? Is it more than incidental here? Because you want to give that defender that opportunity to clear the ball because they're literally sitting in their penalty area, right? That's where that deference changes just a bit when we do into the penalty area. Always looking to see if the defender makes that contact, or the goalkeeper, right? When they usually reach out and one hand gets all ball and the other hand gets the entire player at the same time. We're always looking for that hand that gets the ball, right? And not going through the player to get to the ball, but actually getting the ball first and then maybe a little bit of the player. So that's how we were told to break it down, look at it. And that's why the VAR team did not touch this and say it was check complete.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
And you can see even like any of these rules analysts, I mean, we are going back. There's a couple of my colleagues doing this around the world, sitting here saying, how did we miss it? And then I said, first and foremost, let's go to the foul in and of itself. We have to always go to the foul in and of itself. And then that's when we all started breaking down the play. Instead of saying, how did the VAR team miss it? Were they too focused on the offside that they missed the deliberate play? There's 5 people in there in the VAR booth right now. It's a CONMEBOL team, but with 2 UEFA VARs with Massimiliano Irrati, who is like the number one VAR in the world in the last World Cup. So I'm sitting here stressing about how they missed all of this stuff with such credentials up there, right? And then I said, wait, we're going way too complicated. I have a couple of different theories. Maybe the on-field team started way too quickly and then VAR couldn't intercede, right? Because that moment of window got closed. And then I'm like, just keep it simple. Take a look at the foul, no foul, we're good. VAR wouldn't have gotten involved. That shows how much time it took us and many others here reviewing that. Can you imagine doing that in the VAR booth?
No.
We have a split of seconds. I mean, mind you, they also have like 40 camera angles. You've seen the VAR booth, the video operating room. Actually, it's glorious in a really dorky way. It's super glorious having all these different camera angles and like 5 video operators. You're saying, give me this, give me this, give me this, and they're just popping things into your quad. So I do argue that they have a lot of better setup than I do personally, but I'll talk to MLS Soccer about like 50 more screens in here.
Man, that is a tremendous amount of information, but super helpful and a great breakdown as to why that was not called. Goss, go ahead.
Yeah. The other one now?
Yeah. So
Richie Larea.
Yeah, Richie Larea. So, at first, like I said, I had seen one video replay or one replay of it, and it was from kind of the back. I've seen it from behind the camera angle, and I've seen it from an above kind of view. This kind of level of contact, there was a little bit more shoulder to shoulder, a little bit of the boot, but does it rise to the level, right? When we want to give a penalty, we want to give a penalty, right? Like undeniable. And here, yes, there was a little bit of contact on the boot. Yes, there was a bit of shoulder to shoulder on it, but it doesn't rise to that level of a penalty for it. So kind of when we would put it, when we do clip analysis reviews, etc., if we were to put this on a meter, it would be a lot closer to no foul than it would be to a penalty game-changing decision. So that's why, we've all gone back and forth. And as soon as we all got these clips, we're like, nah, that's never a foul. Like, so in our world, that's not a foul. I know that's not what Team Canada wants to hear. I swear we all love Team Canada, contrary to David's thought. Like if I blink left, it's IFAB that hates him. If I blink right, it's FIFA that hates him. Nobody can potentially hate Canada, even if you try. That's how much everyone loves Canada.
You don't have to worry about it. I don't like soccer anymore. I'm done. I'm out. So I don't even care.
You know what? If I got $1 for every time someone's told me the game's gone, I would be rich. I would be rich right now.
I just don't have any more left. My emotional meter is empty.
Oh, I get you.
Yeah.
Oh, just Christina, thank you so much for your help today. As always, you are going to be back on our next Club and Country watch along on Friday, correct? With the U.S. taking on England.
Yes, hopefully I'm out of my turkey coma by that time. So.
Exactly. Well, hey, happy Thanksgiving to you. And again, thank you so much. Incredible stuff as always.
Happy Thanksgiving, all.
Thank you, Christina.